lovely afternoon. As the name suggests, we are here to appreciate concepts around not just cloud, but cloud native. And more importantly, how to leverage that to seize the golden window of opportunities, especially in the current environment. Right, so today we have a very amazing lineup of speakers from IMDA, Fortinet, Human Capital Singapore, and an exciting panel discussion with our distinguished speakers and Alibaba Cloud. So before we begin, I would like to just cover some housekeeping matters. Right, so some of you might be wondering about the slides and recording. Not to worry, this will be made available after the webinar on SGTech's website and emailed to all. Also, do keep your questions coming via the Q&A functionality. We'll do our best to address a selection of them during the panel discussion. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Lim Soon Tian, our Chairman of Cloud and Data Chapter, to address the audience. Soon Tian, over to you, please. Soon Tian? Yes, yeah. We see you now, Soon Tian.
Hello. Hello, Ansin. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our second Cloud Precision series. My name is Soon Tian. I work in SG Engineering Electronics as a VP for Corporate Development. So we have our first Cloud Operation series in January this year at Vapor City Business City Auditorium. Immediately after IMDA announced the other two partners for their GoCloud program. Today, IMDA has 5 partners for GoCloud program. They are IBM, who has sponsored our first Cloud Appreciation series, AWS, Microsoft, Cloud Comrade, and Google. Finally, the 5th is their only China cloud service provider, which links up with Human Capital Singapore, that is Alibaba. We are very glad that Alibaba and HCS are sponsoring the event today. A big thanks to them. Now, allow me to give you a short introduction to SGTech. Next slide. Yeah. SGTech is formerly known as SITF, Singapore IT Federation. The federation has been in existence for more than 2 decades. Today, we are not just an association of IT companies, but also have members including the banks, retailers, legal firms, etc. Hence, we have built an ecosystem of user and ICT providers within SGTech Association. We are also responsible advocate and support agenda for technology in the areas covered by these 6 chapters. Next slide, please. These are the 6 chapters. Digital chapters, whose members are digital media, mobile and wireless company. Cyber security chapters, formed to promote cyber security awareness and drive to position Singapore as regional cybersecurity hub. Singapore Enterprise chapter, focus on the local enterprise development as well as development into China and Asian markets. AI HPC, formed to help users on adopting artificial intelligence and high performance computing. Smart Nation chapter are formed by companies who are keen to engage SNDGO to promote end-to-end localized solution. This WebEx seminar is organized by my chapter, which is Cloud and Data chapter. Briefly, for Cloud and Data chapter, these are what we are doing. Next slide. Okay, first of all, we collaborate among members to share technology, know-how on cloud and business opportunity. One thing, I think I need you to click for me. Okay, sorry, she's helping me with the slide. That's why I'm waiting for her to click on. L is for leveraging on our expertise to work with authorities as well as the other similar organizations to assist us to have the right business environment to grow. O, organizing seminars to bring in the public for cloud awareness and application of cloud technology into your business verticals like healthcare, retail, finance, etc. Our biggest cloud event we organize annually is Cloud Asia. This is a technical cloud conference. One thing, can you click? This is the technical conference which has been running for the past 10 over years by IMDA. We are very pleased to receive this Cloud Asia baton from IMDA in 2018 to organize the event. Unfortunately, this year, we will not be able to have a physical big Cloud Asia event with Cloud Expo at MBS, Marina Bay Sands, due to COVID-19. Hence, we are now introducing this Cloud Asia Dynamics into our Cloud Appreciation Series with cloud thought leaders as well as IMDA leaders to speak on cloud topics and issues. Today, we are delighted to have Ms. Evelyn Lim and Mr. Ng E Hock, directors from IMDA Innovation and Tech Ecosystem Division, to share with us. Next, the U, which is to undertake social responsibility to educate the young and old to embark on IT and cloud technologies through our Tech for Community event. Finally, D, to deliver values to our members as well as to form the best cloud network platform for all to come together to move forward to the next era of IT technologies. To ensure that we assist companies in a journey towards cloud native architecture under the GoCloud initiative, we have worked out the Cloud Appreciation Series program, next slide, which is to drive awareness and understanding of cloud amongst ICT and targeted business sectors. We also want to encourage adoption of cloud technology for purpose of business productivity or digital transformation. Examples of topics are as shown. I do hope that you will be encouraged by today's speaker not just to use cloud, but to adopt cloud native architecture into your business framework to do your business more efficient, faster, and scale regionally or globally. If you are not an ICT company, but on the IT digital transformation journey, you should consider going directly onto cloud native architecture to move your business faster. I hope that this Cloud WebEx event is a good opportunity for, next slide, collaboration with IMDA, HCS, Alibaba, and SGTech to grow your business by leveraging on our technical expertise so as to organize for the next leap with the use of the latest technology to deliver your business success. On this note, I would like to wish everyone here a fruitful time. Keep safe at this Cloud Appreciation Series webinar. Thank you.
All right, so thank you so much, Cynthia, for setting the stage and very inspiring address. So next up, we have Mr. Ng E Hock and Ms. Evelyn Lim from IMDA, who will share how you can capture market opportunities with the GoCloud program and some future plans. Over to you, please, E Hock.
Hello, hi, can you guys hear me? On scene?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, all good. Yeah.
All right. Hi, very good afternoon to you. My name is E Hock. I'm from IMDA. I welcome the opportunity to be here to speak to you on a very important topic, cloud native computing. I have changed the title of today's presentation to be more fitting of the current situation that we are facing compared to the earlier EDM that you guys have received. After my sharing, my colleague Evening will share on the next phase of our GoCloud program and seek your inputs on some of the ideas that we have for our phase 2 of this GoCloud. Can I have the next slide, please? I put 2 questions here to set the stage for my sharing. What helps businesses to carry on working during this COVID-19 outbreak? What tech companies must do to seize this opportunity? I think it would be easy to generalize that technology has helped businesses to carry on working during the COVID-19 outbreak. But if we were to delve deeper into what exactly has been the key that enable people to work from home to keep business services going, there is one technology that stands out, and that is cloud computing. COVID-19 will likely see an accelerated shift in the adoption of cloud not just in Singapore, but globally. And if we were to go deeper to find out how cloud computing can do that, the answers lies in cloud native development. Not just lift and shift your workload, your infrastructure, your application to the cloud. To us, that is just cloud ready, or what we term as cloud-based solution. If you are a tech company, you need to be cloud native. It's not enough to just lift and shift to the cloud. You need to change the way you develop your software application into cloud native application and microservices. Okay, the next slide, please. So what is cloud native, and what is it so different from cloud-based solutions or cloud-ready solutions? Traditionally, many ICT SME develop product, services, and solutions that are built on legacy monolithic software architecture as one giant single complex system, interconnected and prone to failure. You can say that some of you guys have told me that you don't develop it as one system, develop it as modules. Yeah, but these modules are also to us not modular enough. If you were to develop this way, we term it as akin to developing solution like a Rubik's Cube, which I always use this as an example if you hear me talk about cloud native. Rubik's Cube is where you cannot take up one piece of the bricks to plug into the second Rubik's Cube. So these solutions are not modular enough, interconnected, highly complex, and they lack scalability and flexibility. Cloud native architecture, on the other hand, is made up of small, loosely coupled components. They are independently developed, and then you can assemble them together. Hence, they are more resilient and flexible to changes. This akin to developing solutions like a Lego block. You know, a Lego block whereby you can take out one piece of the bricks and then plug into the second Lego blocks. So to be sure, cloud native is not service-oriented architecture. It's also not about just shifting to the cloud. If you do that, you still have not taken the full benefits of cloud computing. Cloud native require you to do a shift in terms of the processes, the architecture, the tools, and the infrastructure that you use. Tools like containerization tools, whether to use Dockers to deploy your application as well. Okay, have the next slide, please. So why cloud native matters during COVID-19? Three key reasons. One is the changing market needs. Second is the digital economy that we are going into. Third is the benefits for going into cloud native. Let me go into each of the reasons. One, what are we seeing during COVID-19 now? We have seen almost all businesses are accelerating the digitalization of their operations so that their employees can work effectively from home or remotely elsewhere. Some businesses are digitizing to pivot their business model to meet the new demand needs of their customer. You have seen that in hawker centers, in restaurants, and the customer has also becoming very savvy and more demanding. They are no longer buying lock, stock, and barrel solutions. Instead, they have existing solutions that serve them well. They do not want to replace it completely. They only want to buy microservices from you to enhance the system that they are currently using. If you don't have microservices, you're not able to sell. So there's no deal. So that's the changing market needs that we are seeing now. And then we are also moving towards digital economy. And we are witnessing that the future of digital services and application are shifting towards everything as a service that is designed and delivered as cloud native microservices. Service provider in digital economy will have to be able to anticipate and empathize with the customer and then take proactive automated actions to seamlessly fulfill your customer needs, especially in a single platform. One way to do that is to build up cloud native capability so that you can then easily embed technology into your solutions and then become more cost effective for you, and then you can scale. And besides that, there's also the benefits for going cloud native that make it very relevant for us now in the COVID-19. Due to the way cloud native application is developed and deployed, cloud native offers significant benefits over traditional software architecture. One way is there's various reasons. One of the reasons is increased the ability to respond faster to your customer. Now you do not need 6 months to customize your solutions. To customize your solution, to deploy them, you can do it in weeks. We have case study that show us that they did it in weeks because they do concurrent development in components. You can go to market quickly. You can scale quickly. You will be able to customize your solutions for a different market, for a new market, quickly as well. Because we also have case study that tells us that they just need 2 months to penetrate a different market. Then the third reason is that you can build solution quickly, reduce your development time, because you have different teams concurrently working on it. And then you develop the components parallel and then assemble them together. And that's become your solutions. Of course, the last reason is that you can easily incorporate new technology as an API into your solution. You don't have to reinvent, recreate certain features that the market already have it. You just need to input it into your solutions. And last but not least, more cost effective. You are cloud computing, you know that it's more cost effective. You don't have to incur the assets or the infrastructure to provide cloud solutions. Okay, the next slide, please. So at IMDA, we understand the challenges that you guys face. And what we do is that we, especially ICT SME, they are in a business for a number of years. You have application and solution developed in a traditional way. So what we do, we launch GoCloud program. This program was launched in March 2019 to help ICT SME to build up development capability in cloud native, microservices, and DevOps. Like Sunti had shared with you, we appointed 5 service providers. Namely, we have Alibaba Cloud with HCS. We also have IBM. We also have AWS. We also have Microsoft with NTUC Learning Hub. These are the 5 service providers that we have appointed to help our ICT SMEs to acquire the capability to transform traditional software architecture and solution development practices into cognitive application and microservices. So what the service provider will do for you guys if you are on this program is that they will provide the training, the consultancy, and the on-site coaching. They will go to your company to coach you guys and guide you guys to transform a monolithic solution that you have into a cloud-native solutions or microservices over a 4 to 6 month time frame. On our part, IMDA will defray the cost and support, not up to 50% previously, but now we have upped it to 80% with effect from 1st June 2020, largely because of COVID. We understand the pain that you guys are experiencing now. So we increase the support that we will give you guys in terms of the professional services fee charged by the service provider if you're on this program. And then 90%, up to 90% for training through SGTech. We also recently launched this cloud native development tool, assessment tool, sorry. It allows you to gauge your cloud native readiness. By doing this assessment, you will receive an instant report regarding where you stand in terms of your cloud native capability and your maturity. And then you will know where's your shortfall, and then you can consider coming into the program. It's a very intensive report. It's a very thick report. So I think it's worth your time to scan the QR code and try it. Can I have the next slide, please? So what I would like to say here is that I would like to encourage you, to invite you not to take too long a time to ponder whether you should modernize your legacy core system and then and your software development practices. I want you to take this chance because we're offering up to 80% of the support to unlock the full benefits of cloud computing, and that chance is until I think end of this year. So what you should do now is approach any of the service provider. We provided the QR code here. You can scan. It will bring you to our GoCloud website, and then you can see what are their offering under the GoCloud program. Before I hand over to Evelyn to talk about some idea that we have for phase 2, I just want to talk about 2 short case studies of companies that are already in the program and graduated from the program. One is Estimated Technology Private Limited. They started as an on-prem IT solution companies. So this company is a SI for identity management solutions. And what they do is that they started GoCloud with one of our appointed service provider. They successfully refactor their on-prem hotel management solution into a cloud-native application within 4 months. So with this solution as a cloud-native app, they have eliminated a need for a 4 hours on-site installation and configuration for every customer that they have. So there's time saving. They also eliminated the need to perform patching at the hotel premises. They are able now to monitor how their solution is being used via the cloud, use this information to improve their solution and their offering. And then I believe now they can easily scale to support hotels overseas. Over time, as a cloud-native application, I'm sure they will be able to enhance this product further with emerging technology as an API plug into their solutions. They don't need, like I said, they don't need to recreate features and functionality that is already available in the API marketplace. You just need to plug it in as a microservice. Can I have a next slide, please? This is my last slide talking about this company called Mural. Mural started as a cloud-ready software provider. They founded in 2002. They provide inventory management solution to more than 10,000 customers and users. With the help of an appointed cloud service provider in our GoCloud program, the company was able to migrate to cloud within 3 months. Not just that, they were able to develop a simple software as a service solution within 5 months. So with these solutions, there is now no need for them to dedicate a resource to perform installation every time they secure a customer. They can focus, they can use that time that they're being free to focus on expanding their market research, expanding their market share, penetrate new markets. They also do not need to be restricted to doing business here in Singapore. Lastly, because of the limited resources that they have, they can now, with this software as a service, expand overseas easily. So Cloud Native will also enable Mural to develop their solution faster and help them to embed emerging technology into their product effortlessly. So you can see that they have an easy transformation through GoCloud program. I think this is my last slide. If there's any Q&A, we will take that during the panel, because I'm mindful that I have to hand over to other speakers as well. I would like to also pass back to Wan Sing.
Thank you so much, Ik Hok, right? So now we have Evelyn, right, to bring us through the next phase of IMDA's GoCloud program. Evelyn, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Understand this afternoon, you're all here to understand more about GoCloud, and we already have about 120 of you participating. So this is an industry consultation, as you heard from my colleague, Ik Hok, who is in charge of the GoCloud program. We have 5 partners today. We're looking at the next phase of the program already from next year. And this is a chance where we are thinking along some of the interventions to address some of the challenges that you guys are facing despite having the GoCloud 1.0, I call it. So it's a participative session. So get your hands ready and your fingers ready. We're gonna do a little bit of poll for us to understand what you all feel about the different initiatives. Okay, so without further ado, okay. Today, our understanding is that there are actually 3 main types of tech SMEs that are going cloud native, and they have their own motivations, right? Especially in the times of COVID, I think a lot of on-prem software companies are actually feeling the heat that they need to deliver a high availability solution to their customers and from the comfort of their home without having, actually they can't even make the trip to their customer site. So it is a problem. So many choose to migrate very quickly to the cloud and deliver it through a cloud service provider. But there are also those that are already on board and been there for a while. We call them the cloud-ready software online services company. These companies really want to see how to leverage the continuous build-up of cloud services that are available from the cloud service providers, and to help them with delivering a solution that can help to optimize their costs, accelerate their deployment, and then allow them to scale overseas as well, like the examples that Ik Hok mentioned about the 2 SMEs that have done so. We call this group of companies their process modernized, where they have to take the effort to refactor, right, to alter their existing application, to re-architect it, in fact, based on cloud native way, and to rebuild it. And the third group is what we call the born native companies. They, frankly speaking, they are quite familiar with cloud native. They just want to build, and maybe they don't have enough expertise in AI, etc., and they just want to leverage the cloud services that's provided by the cloud service provider. So on and on, they just want to build. Let's move to the next slide. So I think a poll here. I know that there are quite a number of you on with us. So one thing, can you pull out and the poll? So maybe you can indicate and let us know in real time, right? How many of you are on-premise companies? How many of you are cloud ready? And how many of you are already cloud native? It will take 10 seconds for you to fill up. You just need to click on it and then submit. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's take a look. All right. Looks like there's still a number of you who are on-premise and quite a fair bit of you who are cloud ready and ready to move on to cloud native, I guess. And thank you. We have with us also some that are already cloud native. We welcome you to share your experience with the rest as well, to get in touch with us. Next. Okay, so our understanding is that these three groups of companies, right, they have their own challenges as they move and shift themselves to cloud native. And the first one, like we said, right, during this season, there's a loss of business and they are unable to deploy their software at their customer's end. Existingly, while business is affected, they continue to have to maintain and upgrade their own infrastructure. And the part about thinking about cloud native is that a couple of them even face the challenge of looking at the business model and the revenue model of changing and running their business if they move on the cloud. So for the cloud ready folks, right, they have already thought about it. They already maximize or earning from the software that is already on the cloud. So the question is, they are not able to fully optimize it and for the on-demand compute and achieve that savings, right? And we find that many of them in this group are challenged in terms of needing to re-architect and refactor. And quite a number of them, even if they are able to do so, they face the challenge of what we call change management for operations and organization structure. Because for deployment using DevOps, right, they have to really learn how to structure themselves to be able to do that. And the third group, the native software companies, they are ready to build and then they just want to go and to different markets. And they find that they need to enhance the software quickly to differentiate themselves to compete very quickly in this this season. So that takes us through to the next slide. After looking at all these challenges, we ask ourselves first, maybe you can share with us, are you one of these companies who are facing the challenge? And what I've just mentioned, right, does it seem familiar to you and it reflects you as a company? So you can share with us whether yes or no, simple answer. We'll take 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, it looks like most of you are facing these challenges, so we are on the right track. But rest assured, we've thought about it, and that's why there's this session where there are some interventions that we are looking at building to help you solve this problem. Next slide, please. So for these three groups, right, there are continuous broad-based activities that we think we want to put in place to assist you. So technology changes so fast, right? We want to practice industry-led kind of sessions where we want to hear from you on the ground. So we're going to put in place what we call a industry-led CTO panel to guide technology capability development areas, particularly for tech SMEs. Okay, so do participate if we do call this session. The second one is what we call, similar to what we're having today, quarterly webinars or master classes, where we will get the technology companies or even trainers and companies that have gone through the cloud native to share their experiences with all of you through copy chat sessions, so that you all can learn from one another, like having a community, you know, to learn. And we will of course continue to have GoCloud 1.0, which is the existing GoCloud program, to help companies to lift and shift, you know, to build and starting from small with mentorship. But for the third part, right, what we are looking is that for the on-premise companies who are first time looking at cloud as a business, I find that they have a lot of things that they're thinking through, you know, not sure how to build their business model, not sure how to implement. So what we're thinking of, and to ease the participation by companies, is to pre-appoint consultants who are able to work with the companies to develop strategies and the transformation roadmap and implementation plans, so that it ease your journey, you know, where there's some assistance provided. And through EDG grants supports 70%, and even for COVID season till end of the year is up to 80% of a qualified cost support. So I move on to the right side. In addition to the GoCloud 1.0, we're also thinking that there are some of you as a company that have manpower that are foreign and they cannot tap SGTech training, etc. So what we are thinking of is to pre-appoint cloud native trainers, right? These trainers will train your in-house, be it local or foreign manpower. They will go on-site and flexible based on your company's time frame. And they also work with you in change management so that you can be operationally ready. And the other portion is some of you find the expertise, they maybe go through training, but then they are not there yet. They do not know how to practice that. So we're thinking of pre-appointing professional services that has the ability to co-develop with your in-house team. And at the end, they will achieve this capability transfer through software development projects. Okay, so these are the 5 initiatives that we're thinking of. Of course, we welcome more from all of you if you think that these are insufficient to serve your need. I would like to take a poll next to see whether you all agree or disagree that these interventions are useful. So in front of you is a poll that has questions, 5 questions. We'll take about a minute for you to just run through the 5 questions and whether it's useful to you or not. And then we will round up to see overall, if most of you think a certain aspect is not very useful, maybe from our side as government, we will rethink and see what are the interventions that you all really need and put it in place. Okay? Maybe I'll take a countdown for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see. Okay, looks like all of you want a panel to hear your voice. Quarterly webinars are useful to you. Yep. Yeah, consultants to help you with strategy as well. And trainers, yes. And professional services. Looks like we are in the right track, yeah? Okay, next. Close. So good. So my last slide is an invitation to connect with us. So we would like to start initial conversations with you. If your company is able to provide the consultancy, the trainers, or the professional services to help our tech SMEs in this journey. So do contact us and via the email provided, industryconnect@imda.gov.sg. So we will get in touch with you shortly to start some conversations. Thank you.
All right, so thank you so much, Ik Hok and Evelyn. Right, so I just want to remind everyone to keep your questions coming, right, and post them to under the Q&A functionality that you see here, right. So do attention to the speaker so that we know who to address this question to, right. And earlier during the Q&A, I also spotted a question on cloud and security considerations. So right now we are going to move on to our next speaker. Right, we have Mr. Sean Hong, Regional Director of Strategic Alliance Cloud at Fortinet. He will be covering emerging cybersecurity risks related to cloud-native applications and how you can protect your infrastructure against vulnerabilities. Sean, please.
Thank you, Weinstein. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank SGTech and also our key partner, Alibaba Cloud, as well as IMDA to invite us to this webinars. And hope by now everyone can see my screens, right? Mason, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Okay. I think these webinars is excellent opportunity to see, the overall movement of the Singapore market when it comes to the cloud and also adoption move to the cloud. And no wonder Singapore is probably the most exciting cloud market across the whole APAC. Because in Singapore, you can find all the major public cloud providers here in town, like all the AWS, Azure, GCP, and also the Chinese players like Alibaba Cloud and Tencent, etc. Right? Because always security is the biggest concern for most of the CIOs when it comes to cloud adoption and the journey to the cloud. So it's a very broad topic when it comes to cloud securities. For instance, if we look at those like a lift and shift type of companies, they need to ship their on-premises workload into the cloud. Network security or the connectivity security is a very important piece of their concerns. And for those really SMB or startups, they might just use the cloud applications like the SaaS applications, like Salesforce, Slack, or even Zoom, right? So this cloud application security will be their biggest concern. But given today's topic is more on the cloud native, we would like to look into more details about what we call application securities. Because we've heard a lot of words about the DevOps and also container or Kubernetes securities. So for those security solutions or service for the end users are mainly provided by the public cloud providers, such as our key partner, Alibaba Cloud. In their AKE environment has already provided very full suite of a tool set for their users to secure their containers, to check whether there's a vulnerability within the images and also manage the identifications. So my presentation today would like to dive into specific areas when it comes to cloud native, which is web application securities. Why we should focus on web application security? As you can see on the screen, 73% of the business buyers now find the web applications are more convenient for them to interact with the business. And a lot of SMEs around the world, particularly in the ASEAN countries, which is very exciting market for a lot of e-commerce companies, they're using the web application to interact with their customers. As a user, they also use web applications to, for instance, sharing their files, sharing the documents, collaborating internally, and also using the web application to build their applications around HR systems or logistics systems. So web applications become a fundamental way to interact not only between business to their consumer market or the clients, but also between the business. On the other hand, the regulations when it comes to cloud applications will not get eased because you are cloud native, right? Therefore, you can see on the screen at the bottom, there are different industry standards or regulation bodies are looking into these web application securities. So your web applications need to be compliant with the different regulations highlighted here by these different standard bodies or the government bodies. But on the other hand, when we deploy more and more web applications, our exposure service become broader and broader. According to Verizon, one of the key cyber research companies is showing that the web application attacks become the leading attacking patterns across all the industry. One of the most well-known like cyber incidents that across all the newspapers is from the Equifax, which got like more than like nearly 150 million US citizens' personal information got stolen. How did the hacker get into the system? It's through a web application, leveraging the vulnerability that building inherited within its web applications. So according to the third-party cyber research firms, over 42% of the websites have at least one serious vulnerability built in due to the overall development process. So therefore, we need to put a security mindset into the overall development cycle of your applications and also into the cycle of how you interact with your customers. Here, next step, I would like to dive into 3 major categories to talk about this security related to web applications, or in the modern days, it's more popular for the API securities, which is web application protection, how are we interacting with the bot, and also how we're going to protect these API interfaces. First, let's look at the web application protection. Here, we're particularly talking about the way you develop your applications or web applications are fastly evolving from the traditional, like developing the code and do the QA and send it to your server and publish it to the internet. Now we have a lot of work, practice around DevOps and also container technologies has greatly accelerated overall like a web application development. So therefore, it's more challenging to how we're gonna pretty much deal with this real-time security enhancement when it comes to blocking those malicious attacks to your applications, and on the other hand, to allow those benign traffic getting through, right? So this is quite a challenging task because now the overall web application development cycle is much faster than before. How you embedded the securities from the very beginning of the code development to QA, to testing, and to production. We need to integrate this web application security from left to the right-hand side of the overall development cycle. There are quite a number of technologies that enable these securities that were including machine learnings. For instance, we can apply the machine learning or the AI technologies to really model your applications. So we can decide whether some of the like a surging like a request from a certain resources, will this be generated because your business is really flying, for instance, probably because the coronavirus lockdown, or because of your promotion you just launched yesterday. So all of a sudden, a lot of like purchasing requests getting through. So do you have the capability to adapt to this like surging demand or like a seasonal demand? We can rely on the AI or machine learning technologies. Secondly, your security like protections or the technologies you apply need to be able to continuously update all the threat intelligence and also leveraging the big data analytic to tap into the threat intelligence around the world, so you can keep your signatures or your detections algorithm up to date. As a result of that, leveraging these various technologies, you can comply with the different industry requirements, such as a PCI DSS, which is very key important, like a security compliance or the requirement you need to meet if you are in the payment gateway industry or even as a retail industries. So at the same time, by leveraging the AI and the machine learning capabilities, you can reduce your administrative overhead. Being an SME, it will be very challenging to hire a large number of like IT or security team to analyze and change the rule set or the policies that traditionally is fixed and static. Your security solution need to be able to adapt to your new business model that could be scaled or distributed around the world. On the other hand, let's look at the bot. Bot become very, very popular. There's benign bots and also malicious bots. Even, pretty much every modern website now you log on, there will be a bot interactions, because behind that is a different AI or chatbots, right? As you can see on the screen, bots now estimated make over 30% of the traffic or across the internet. And surprisingly, around 20% of this traffic were actually generated by those bad or malicious bot capability, behind these web applications. And some of them could be used as a DDoS attack, which the US just experienced a few days back. So let us look a bit further into the good and the bad about the bots. The good things about the bots, we can leverage them to interact with your application's search engine, like being a virtual assistant, and also you can aggregate the different multiple contents. But for malicious bots, they try to grab your very powerful and critical user information data, or trying to hijacking your account and trying to brute force into your web applications. So here are the good or bad things about the bots. But when it comes to technology, how we're gonna interact with these bots, we cannot hire some human being behind and trying to identify whether this is a bot, etc. Right? So therefore, we need to leverage multiple different technologies to interact with these bots, leveraging the latest signatures and also understanding the behavior, or even leveraging AI technology, trying to challenge or maybe using different approach to identify whether it's a malicious bot interactions or it's a benign activities. So the value to the business, you still can enjoy the benefit and the convenience brought to you by this AI or bot technologies. At the same time, reduce the need to subscribe some of the more advanced user verification technologies, such as a reCAPTCHA, or use those like a screen identify, like a picture identification to identify whether it's AI behind or the real human behind. And the third area, which is also important, is about the API securities. Because now the way the web applications are interacting with the end users or your business had fundamentally shifted from the previously like a one-way, like a phone to a web application interaction, to more like a multiple or heterogeneous devices interactions. A majority of these applications need to support the different APIs. Therefore, your risks, like attack surface has greatly exposed due to this API usage. For instance, let's take a little bit look at the details. Traditionally, your PC send some like HTML, HTTP request into your server, and your server packaging the data and send it into HTML format. This is the traditional web application interactions, but it is declining. Due to the proliferation of the mobile and handset devices, we now see more interaction based on API. So the API can not only get a lot of interactions or register your information, but also can get a lot of raw data from your critical database, or even your customer data or the critical information from that. How are you gonna enforce the security policies or scanning or to deploy your DLP like policies across these kind of interactions? It's very important you need to keep in your mind. So there are also different technologies to enable this kind of API protections, to validate the HTML schema, and also based on different signature to capture the potential malicious access. But more important is you need to consider this kind of API gateway, not only interacting with your customers out there in the digital world, but also your business partners, or potentially different APIs that you are leveraging, that you're interacting with the public cloud providers who are providing a very powerful solutions with their AI capabilities or data analytic capability. So as a business owner, you can have a single point of access or the monitoring or the enforcement to all the APIs that your web application are using and how it interact with the requests outside of the digital world. Okay. So with that, I would like to take it to my summary slides, which is with Fortinet's 40 web applications firewalls, we provide different protections, not only to the PCs but also to a number of handheld devices or API protections. It can be deployed in any form of cloud, all the major cloud platforms. In particular, we also work with Alibaba Clouds, and in also pretty much any format you can think of. For instance, the container-based web application firewall, or VM-based, which is typical suitable for the IaaS environment. Or if you are a small business owner, you want to just use it as a SaaS model, software as a service, you can all enjoy the FortiWeb security protections. We also have the capability to leveraging our AI competence to deliver the suitable model for different line of a business, which is develop a model that's suitable for your business, such as whether you're in a logistic company, logistic industry, or in the food and retail chain business. We do have a machine learning based AI model that's suitable for your applications. So that's, in short, we combine our web application protection capabilities with the other vulnerability scannings and also identify management capability provided by our partner Alibaba Cloud to provide a full-fledged security protection for most of the SMEs on the market. Okay, so with that, I'll finish my presentation, but do take any questions on the chat windows. We're trying to address that later on. Back to you, Wanxin.
All right, thank you so much, Sean. I hope that gives everyone a better understanding of how security can still be achieved as you go cloud native, right? This is a topic that we have gotten a lot of feedback on, right? And we're happy to be addressing this today at this session, right? And also happy to see a lot of questions coming in on this topic, right? So now we will take a step, right, to look at the business case, right, of going into cloud native. And with that, I'm happy to introduce Mr. Nelson Lee, who's the Director of Tech and Growth at Human Capital Singapore. Nelson, over to you.
Hello. Good morning to everybody. My name is Nelson Lee. I'm the Director for Tech and Growth in HCS. Wanxin, is my voice okay over there? Testing. Okay, HCS was incorporated in 2009. It's a CT center in Singapore. Focuses on three main areas, which is organization, like advisory service, appointed by ESG, MOM, and more recently appointed by IMDA to advise our SME clients to go on a GoCloud native. We also focuses on people based on the skill framework of HR, LPM, and also recently ICT competency on the GoCloud native architecture. We also have an area of personal effectiveness on career service. HCF has a strong track record of over 10 years since incorporated in 2009. It delivered more than 40,000 statement of attainment, which is the placement for people attending the courses, of which more than 3,000 diploma and certificate. In terms of the people they are trained, it includes more than 9,000 PMAC and more than 4,000 SME owners, of which at least 10% of them are ICT SME. My agenda for today is basically three parts: navigating the new normal. I will share a business case through a video clip, 4 to 5 minutes, and then I would explain what is the cloud-led digital transformation program that we are using our approach to guide the SME. If you look at here, these slides, we see the top 10 emerging technologies of 2020. Compiled by CompTIA. One thing that is common among all these emerging technology is the omnipresence of cloud as an enabling technology. Likewise, we also realize that in today's world, digitalization is not an option, but rather a survival instinct. What has taken place since COVID-19 came along is that everybody has scrambled to allow everybody to work from home. And there was no time to put any thoughts into how to do it. But what is evident is that cloud connectivity, cloud communication has become more important. The community at large has moved from not only digital adoption, but digital acceleration during this recent few months. And everybody in the post-COVID, we are trying to define a new digital working environment that enables employees to stay connected, be productive, and not learning stop, irrespective of their login location, whether parts of them are still working from home and the other rest of the staff are in the office or in the factory. Here we see that the programs that we encourage our SME to go, we know that COVID-19 has forced all companies to go online. Companies which cannot continue, which continue to go the old way, of course, they will still can in the new normal market, but they can only remain in business to cater to consumer like them who are reluctant or refuse to embark on online transaction. Whether they go bust or not is a matter of time, depending on how quickly the consumer behavior evolve with the changing economic landscape arising from COVID-19. So HG's strategic approach is to explain to the SME owner on a cloud-led digital transformation, okay, which helps them to assess overseas opportunity without having to go abroad. Here, we have a partnership with Alibaba, which defines the China Gateway, and we're offering boot camps, the GoCloud Native Bootcamp, a 3-day bootcamp, SGTech funded. And right now we are in launching the e-commerce bootcamp together with Alibaba to help them to understand what it takes to go into a cloud-led digital transformation. So in the next few minutes, I would like to share a business case in a video clip on example of one of our fraternity trainees who have completed the SMOE, which is the SME Organization Excellence Program in HCS, which is the HR and People Management, how he is able to adopt SME Go Digital implementation as part of their business transformation. And more importantly, he learns how to do a successful succession leader for his business to his next generation, which is his son. And supporting the second generation leader, how the son moved towards cloud-led digital transformation. And eventually right now they are expanding the business access to overseas market without having to go abroad. Let me see. Can you see the thing? One second. One second, is the sound okay?
Yes, Nelson, it's on.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
兵啊，好无？大哥，我的名叫添水，人叫我新水。我做这行20-30年了。你今日无听到你声咧？我是唔捌字，办事我办两要好。新加坡伊本来就是一个渔村来的，这如龙这市场已经50年的历史了。咱新加坡咱把咱饲鱼100多间。 咱这做青鱼的本有145间，这加工厂咧，伊本有100多间，若是讲速冻咧，伊也是500间啦。咱讲这青鱼啦，这青鱼咱供应是对新加坡的，一工本有200-300单。 有人就是拜祭做个礼拜。
这 是人家要去睡觉的时候，我们开始工作了。
工人难请，本地人不做，
这个行业是很落后的行业了。儿子来了做了3年，他也不做了，他不接手了。
So fish is a perishable product. So every day if you have oversupply of fish, we are being forced to sell at a loss.
咱有真多吼，有真多，真无用的做袂出的。Hello, OK. Hello, Hello, OK. Hello, OK. Hello. 啊，若是无真多咧，伊应该会使落拍网啊。所以做甲来吼，有当时吼，你想想啊，这行业真辛苦啦。哎，哥哥，我跟你一起玩哈。You see this
pond fish。
这是谁？
彤彤。
哎呀，少年做甲老啊，这个一句啊，孙本八啦。
Mr. 哥，免惊了，用办法来看。
哎呀，这么辛苦做什么？我以前只有1个档口，现在我有2个货仓，700多个工人，几10辆罗里，一年呐，我都要做4000多吨的虾啊！嚟啦，得啦，100噸啊咁樣，乾杯啦，飲咗佢啦。
Digitalization 很多好處，第一 less paperwork，免了一堆時間了。
阿文啊，我咧訂去啊 ，OK， 會使。哇，你看唔是辦法啊做。Hello， 老婆啊，吃飯了 ，OK， 好，現在容易了，這數碼化哦，很快解決的。
對子，用 iPad 自己做 order， 真方便。
我這個學了係5 kg， 手工4 kg， OK。
樣啊，你讓我做叫了。
上重要，Mr. 我跟你講上重要嘅，你囝咁給你接手了，你生意喲。
兒子，我的生意靠你了。兒子，這個來。
Wow, awesome！
數碼化就是玩款最好處。上重要咧，大家做定做。
So you see over here a business case whereby Mr. Go transformed his traditional business into digital measurement, so what we call the Go Digital. And then after he grow digital, which is I think one of the emphasis recently the government is pushing for, where he further growing the business to an online web store, offering B2C commerce and expanding into B2B business. And you can see from there, Mr. Go was last year awarded by President Halima Award, and his son was also given the award from IMDA for enterprising activities towards digitalization. In these slides, what I'm going to show to you is that for the success of the cloud native architecture to arrive at this area whereby you have a multi-cloud service, all this thing, is determined by 2 forces, the supply and the demand. Here, IMDA has been very actively on the supply side, whereby AWS, IBM, and Microsoft Azure Learning Hub has been working in independent software vendors to help them to build out their knowledge base and for them to support the cloud native architecture for the SME clients that they have. Okay, ultimately it's the SME clients that comes in, which is the demand side that bring in the business. And lately, as of January this year, both HCS with Alibaba Cloud and Comrade with Google was also selected. But HCS differentiation from among them is that we address the SME client, and these are the 99% of entities in Singapore, of which 90%, I would say, post-Go digital awareness. Doesn't mean they are in digital. Some of them are reluctant, but through HCS, knowledge of technology, we educate them what it is. And in this slide, we show how we help and support the GoCloud native architecture for the Singapore, we have the SME clients, which consists of both ICT and non-ICT, okay, coming to here to take the GoCloud native 3 days bootcamp, okay. For those who are already in the cloud or they are the software house where their primary SSIC code is 62XXX, they can go directly after they accept and they are willing to embark on the GoCloud journey through a management buy-in and do the realization of the cloud native project, of which IMDA now, as announced earlier, offer up to 80% project cost subsidy, capped at 24,000 per company. And if their employer needs further in-depth training, HCS offer this GoCloud native training. All this training are SGTech funded. Now, for the rest of the SME client who are non-ICT, what happened is that this is an awareness for them. They go to the cloud native, and like what you saw earlier in the video and many others of my clients, they decided that yes, they may be of a certain age that they do not want to do it themselves, but they also have a concern. Why should I give it to a vendor? Or why don't I just engage a vendor? So they have a choice of those things. And if they choose to do it themselves through their second generation, so what they need to do is to register their company with a secondary SSIC. And this will form something like a sister company to their organization, whereby they will support their ICT support for their parents. And in this way, they are also able to support by HCS and our pool of practitioner and our consultant partner like Alibaba, which is what they also want, because Alibaba is the only one right now is supporting the whole program on something that SME clients love to have it, that is China Gateway. And in most of the last few bootcamp that we support, Alibaba came in and gave the seminar as part of a training for the SME. And they themselves can go towards the path of management buy-in, get a feeling with the coach if they are not fully aware of the cloud, to be able to do a POC. And what we have started some project, and they are asking for what's next to go into ESG funding to expand their what they have on digital into going abroad and to be more savvy. What we hope to achieve is to ask the SME bosses, the leader, not only being going into cloud digital alone, but must be also be able to be being in the cloud, okay? Because they can, so they will know that they are contributing, they are working on something that contribute to the growth and the productivity of their company. So I think I come to 10 minutes. This is, for those who are interested, you can go to this website to learn and discuss with us, or you can scan this QR code. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Nelson. Nelson, I think you have to release the screen at your end. Okay, right. So once again, thank you so much, our speakers, for the wonderful insights. Right. So we have now come to the most important part of the webinar. I'd like to once again introduce, or rather invite all our speakers, as well as Mr. Feng Wei Ying, Solutions Architect at Alibaba Cloud, back on screen. The panel will be moderated by Mr. Raju Chalam, our first Vice Chairman of SGTech's Cloud and Data Chapter. Over to you, Raju, and our panelists.
Thank you. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, all good, Raju.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to this SGTech panel discussion. My name is Raju. I am the Honorary Vice Chair of the SGTech Cloud and Data Chapter, and I'm honored to moderate the panel on embracing the future with cloud native. I'm delighted that we have 4 panelists including the three speakers you heard from earlier today, Ms. Evelyn Lim from IMDA, Mr. Sean Hong from Fortinet, Mr. Nelson Lee from Human Capital Singapore. We also have a fourth panelist, Mr. Ying Feng Wei from Alibaba Cloud, who we did not hear from today. So I'm going to welcome all the panelists. And before I ask Mr. Ying to introduce himself, I would like to invite all of you, dear viewers and listeners, to kindly use the questions function to post your questions or comments to the panelists. Time permitting, we will get as many of your questions answered as possible. So let's get the panel discussion started by first having Mr. Ying Feng Wei introduce himself and his role in Alibaba Cloud.
Thank you, Mr. Raju. Hello, everybody. My name is Feng Wei. I'm a solution architect with Alibaba Intelligence based in Singapore. My role is actually to help enterprise and organizations to plan their GoCloud strategy and to design their cloud-native architecture for their digital transformation journey. I'm very happy to be here today with you guys. And thanks to SGTech for organizing this event to promote GoCloud and cloud-native strategies in our business community. Back to you, Mr. Raju.
Thank you, Feng Wei. Warm welcome to the panel discussion. My first question is to all panelists, starting with you, Feng Wei. COVID-19 has forced all companies to go online. What's the likely scenario for companies that don't go online? Will they go bust?
Thanks. I think just now, our friend from Human Capital, HCS has already talked about this, right? But I'm from cloud service provider, so it's actually a challenging question for me. In my view, if technology is an enabler for your business, and it is a very important one, I wouldn't see that if you don't go cloud, then your business will go bust, right? Especially during this COVID-19. I think we do not want to hear this kind of scary news. But to some extent, it's actually quite true, right? The cloud is about to bring the technology into your daily life, right? So with COVID-19, I think social distancing is going to be a norm after COVID-19. So we need to prepare to run the business in a way that we can reach out to the market in a way that traditional business are not able to support. So GoCloud, and especially GoCloud with a cloud-native architecture, will support your business. It will actually make your business stronger, right? So it still depends on your business nature, whether you want to go cloud or how you want to cloud. But I would strongly suggest that at least you evaluate and you start to think about how to go cloud. That is a path that we have to choose soon or later. Thanks.
Okay, that's one way to look at this. Do you feel the same way from an MNC point of view? Sean from Fortinet?
Thank you, Roger. So my opinion is that the company that don't go online may still survive for some time, yet they will be seriously challenged by their competitors who have an online strategies in place. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure about one thing, which is if you go online without a right cybersecurity strategy in place, your risk of exposure is definitely higher than those who choose to stay offline because you're not exposed. And also, it's worth pointing out the consequence of the cybersecurity incident or data breach today is at the magnitude that far more than a small company can afford. Thank you.
We'll get to the security angle in a while. Thank you, Sean. I have a lot of questions from the forum, so I'm going to ask a question straight to IMDA. IMDA should have a good idea of how many companies have gone on cloud, especially after COVID-19 has forced many companies, especially SMEs, to go cloud. Could you elaborate, Evelyn?
I guess a lot of companies have no choice, right? With the oncoming of COVID and the need for companies to close down, even going to the customer site is going to be an issue. So those companies, especially those that do not have the online presence, you will start to feel the heat. And you know what I mean, it's essentially burning you. So the question for me is, some companies have chosen to have omnipresence, so both online and offline, right? And the key difference from what I see is that it's not just about going online. I mean, cloud has been around for a couple of years already. So shifting to the cloud, especially for the on-prem one, I think it is a push right now. But are you able to still meet the changing needs of your customer? And are you able to perform the agility and the flexibility to deploy fast enough to meet the changing needs, especially in this season? So that is the question I want to pose for all of you companies out there when you're thinking about going to cloud.
Excellent, great responses, and a good segue to talent and jobs. So I'm looking at one of the questions that has just come in for Human Capital Singapore, which focuses on the human angle, which is about talent. So my next question is for Nelson from HCS. Many SMEs have been reluctant to go fully on cloud because of lack of technical skills or talent. How can your organization specifically help them? Nelson?
From HCS point of view, we will, of course, we will continue to educate them on the urgency and the criticality to transform with challenging times. So the mindset change is fundamental for especially the old school SME business owner. Lack of technical skills should not be a reason why they should not change. Okay, existing employee or even the owners can tap on the subsidy fund from government to attend those courses. And also they also can solicit service provider to guide them.
Okay. So you already spoke about HCS in your presentation. So I think people who need to know more can go to your website and get some more information. Interesting perspective. Thanks, Nelson. Let's ask Alibaba, which is offering incentives for companies to move to the cloud. So I have a question here from the audience. How can Alibaba or your partners help SMEs or large enterprises move to the cloud? Fang Wei?
Thank you. So we are working with different partners from different channels to help to lower the barrier to move to the cloud. So we have technical partners like Fortinet, right? They provide the security solutions. We also have other vendors, other partners. I think we present them in the previous webinars or other webinars. So they can help you to hold your hands to move your applications, your system to the cloud in a way that you will feel more comfortable with. We also work closely with education partners like HCS. They will actually design and deliver the contents to address your specific concerns. And they also actually play a role in the community or the society by growing the talents, right? Even you don't hire them, right? They are there to actually help you one way or another. We also actively participating into the events organized by SGTech, those as well as the government agencies like IMDA, to promote certain awareness of the cloud technology, certain architecture patterns, so that everybody will benefit from those kind of talks. Thanks.
So are you, hang on, are you offering, there's a question here, are you offering any monetary incentives like free instances or trial services for SMEs who want to try out Alibaba Cloud?
Yes, we do. Once you register an account, there will be free credit for you to try out. And if you are really keen, you can reach out to us. We can, depends on the business nature, right? We will actually consider to help you by giving you some kind of credits or POC, during the POC, or we will redirect you to the partners. They will help you as well.
Very good. So incentives is a big part of the questions that are coming in. Cool. So the big incentives are of course coming from the government, which is very keen to boost technical talent and upskilling. I am now going to ask Evelyn from IMDA to tell us a bit more on government incentives for cloud-related skills upgrading?
Yes, I must agree. Every dollar counts. Yeah? And this period, the government is more than eager to give your money, right, to help you all stay afloat. So particularly on the area of training, as part of GoCloud, we have 5 service providers. They are the key ones, right, leading in the industry. And all of them have already worked with us to put in place what we call SGTech endorsed cloud native trainings that you can, those eligible, right, can get up to 90% funding, right? So that's a lot, and companies only need to pay 10%, which is seriously affordable. And for those companies that need mentors to guide them, we have mentorship as part of GoCloud to assist them and to guide them as part of practice-based coaching to assist, because we understand that not just from reading, not just from theory-based, you need to practice and work it. And so these mentors coming in to help you will help. And that ECHO has earlier mentioned, we have raised the funding support from 50 to now become 80% support. So you all should all take the opportunity to leverage and quickly go cloud native this period, you know, while everybody is still working hard to figure it out. Yeah.
Excellent, and I hope many of our listeners and viewers will take advantage of those incentives and schemes. But I would also like to mention one important point. Please be very careful with the money, because it's my money and your money, taxpayer money. So thank you, Evelyn. Let's now get to the key question about security. Security on the cloud was a big concern before COVID-19. It's a bigger concern now during COVID-19. Do you agree, Sean, from Fortinet?
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's why from Fortinet, we strongly urge the companies, whether it's big companies or startup companies, to put security as a very important pillar of their overall digital transformation or cloud native strategy, which is now greatly accelerated by this COVID-19 lockdown. The companies can take a what we call end-to-end, a holistic approach in designing their security strategy framework, architecture, and also even their response playbook to secure the critical data from the edge, the branches, and all the way to the cloud. From Fortinet side, we've seen surging trend of like cyber incidents happened during COVID-19 lockdown period, especially for like email phishing and also some other adversary hacking on social media. And so our company are taking advantage of the cloud to keep themselves agile in this challenging time. They also need to put a very strong focus on the cybersecurity solutions that natively integrate with the cloud infrastructure. Has to be part of their overall development cycle of their web applications. And more importantly, is that it can automatically scale or expand, not only within Singapore, but also to help them to reach out to the business in a global perspective and secure the workload that from the multiple layer perspectives. So that will be our.
That's a good point you brought out, that many Singapore companies are also selling abroad. So outside of Singapore, do you work with partners to help Singapore-based companies mitigate these risks?
Yes, we work very closely with our key partners like Alibaba Cloud. We've been partnering with them since 2018. So Fortinet is one of the strategic security independent solution vendor for Alibaba Cloud on their marketplace. As a Fortinet security fabric partner, our joint solution between Alibaba Cloud and Fortinet are natively integrated, support many user cases or even like advanced architectures, which enable organizations to easily migrate their workload to Alibaba Cloud and also develop their own application leveraging Alibaba Cloud's powerful AI or data analytics services without worry about security or integrating multiple components by themselves. Another example is recently we jointly announced our joint solution named called Global Acceleration to enable organizations, for instance, Singapore organizations, to access the cloud application or deliver their own applications that develop on Alibaba Cloud to all the customers around the world much faster and secure in a global scale. This is called global accelerations.
Excellent. So I would like to now hear from Alibaba Cloud. How can you assure customers or prospects that Alibaba Cloud is secure? Wang Wei?
Right. Thanks, Raju. So I also want to add on to just now, Sean has mentioned about the ensuring security part of the cloud, right? Now, as compared to the traditional RT infrastructure that running probably under your office desk, right? Actually, in general, cloud is a safer choice. I'm not saying that it's 100% free from those attacks, but as compared to the traditional one, it's probably actually safer. But the most important thing about the security is that you as a business owner, you need to own the ownership of the security. It's okay that you don't know, but you need to own the ownership. Security is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to make sure that you select a cloud platform that is secure, such as Alibaba, right? Then you need to ensure that you engage the security vendor like Fortinet to make sure your solution is secure. It's okay that you don't know the cybersecurity. A lot of terminology there is very confusing, right? It's okay, but it's your responsibility to make sure your application is secure. And there's vendors, there's tools, there's capabilities available. So back to the Alibaba as a platform, right? So we have obtained all sorts of government required certification about security, about privacy, right? So it's all, we are actually top in Asia in terms of security and compliance. So in terms of how do we ensure the security, right? We build a layered defense mechanism. So cloud is not about, I build a centralized defense network, firewall kind of things. You need to build in the security in every product, in each process of your application. And we have tools and the capabilities to help the business to achieve this goal. Thanks.
Okay, that brings us back to another point, which is a lot of questions on talent. Finding new talent as well as keeping existing talent have become crucial for companies during COVID-19. Can we get some tips on good talent management, Nelson?
Can you hear me? Okay, talent management should be a priority, whether there is COVID or no COVID situation. Having said that, also, COVID-19 presented an opportunity for organizations to rebalance their talent pool, managing out the non-performer and bringing in the required talent, especially in some affected industry. Okay, with that, it doesn't mean that there will be a loss of job. There will be opportunity whereby, in fact, the government is supporting the national job security, where Singapore companies and workforce can build up their capabilities and immunity by upskilling, reskilling, repurposing to make the economy tick again. In fact, on 2nd and 3rd of July, there is a national conference held by E2I with HCS, where the minister will be talking. I will encourage you all to go to the website and to understand what is this job security about. Now, the next two areas, finding and keeping talent. Okay. In today's market, finding talents, there are most of the IHL and agency are collaborating with all the companies like E2I, NTUC. And the employers themselves, when they want to get new hires, finding them, they can go through the employee network, IHL graduate placement office. But the only difference right now is that the hiring can be done by virtual assessment center and remote interviewing, unlike face-to-face. Okay. Now, keeping existing talent. This is very interesting. Of course, needless to say, fostering a positive work environment. In any textbook, they say you must have it. But bear in mind, today in a virtual world, how can you foster? You need to be aware that you don't see your employee face to face. When you raise your voice and you talk to them, even when I talk to you, I know there's 101 people. I don't know who are they. They are listening virtually everywhere. How can you foster a good office environment out of the office, right? You cannot say, I put you into a closed room and talk one-to-one. Then, of course, in this time, whereby everything is online, encouraging employees to take up personal and professional development, reskilling, upskilling online through virtual webinar, e-learning is highly recommended.
Okay, good points. I think we are running out of time now. So wrapping up all the questions together, I would like to put them together and ask each of our panelists for 2 or 3 tips on how companies in Singapore can benefit by embracing the future with cloud native or by going cloud. First, Mr. Ying Feng Wei from Alibaba Cloud. 3 tips.
So my tip is choose the trusted cloud service provider.
Okay.
Do not think too much, because it's like it's like when the electricity grid is invented, right? If you hesitate whether I should use the generator or I should switch to the electricity grid, right? It just takes too much, right? Go cloud as soon as possible. You will learn a lot of things during this journey. Then leverage on the many helps available from government, from SGTech, from vendors, right? Those people are there to help you. So do not need to work on your own, right? You have a lot, you have the network to help you. Thanks.
Good, that was very concise and precise. Next, Mr. Nelson Lee from Human Capital Singapore. 3 tips for our audience.
The first one, of course, is that as a company, you better suggest that you rethink your business model. Okay, what you've been doing pre-COVID and post-COVID, you need to look into your operating SG&A, sales, general admin, because there is a time whereby you work in the office and where a time where you do it remote. Are you profitable? Are you earning money? Which are your parts that is actually burning you? And in moving out of the post-COVID, okay, will you continue to be 50-50 or what? And more important to understand, if you don't go, are your competitors also going? So I'm not encouraging herd mentality, but this is something real, right? And of course, most of us understand, knows that government is always ready, especially this period, to fund. Don't lose out. Take whatever that is needed and take this opportunity. In fact, the government is always, in most of the speeches these few days, is to expand the business, not only here, to go across the border without a physical presence. As a cloud, I'm sure you know ways of doing it. Right on it.
Thank you, Nelson. Next, we ask Mr. Sean Hong from Fortinet.
Thank you, Roger. Can you hear me? Yep.
Yes.
So I think my advice to the audience is we should not just limit to the at the technology level. We should just redesign the whole company's overall business strategy, anchoring on the cloud, onto the cloud. So the company should develop or evolve their business model accordingly, because what we've seen is that cloud's value proposition to the business, to the industry, has evolved from the cost saving that associated with the hyperscale they have to a new stage that it is to enable the companies to be agile in business and also have an easy access to some of the disruptive technologies such as AI, big data analytics, etc., right? Which traditionally were beyond the fetch of SMBs. So with these powerful tools available on the cloud and agility provided by the cloud, you can compete with the big giants or even disrupt the status quo. So it's the perfect timing. Get ready and embrace the change.
Excellent. And last but not least, Ms. Evelyn Lim from IMDA.
Yeah, thank you. So you have heard enough. There are many schemes from government that's available to you. We just need companies like yourself to be flexible, to adapt fast, and to innovate. Think like a startup, right? This is the season. There's no time to be complacent. In the past, we see companies trying to attend webinars, sit on it, and then look and wait for people and their competitors to see what's the impact. But in today's season, you don't have time for that. So like what my other panelists have mentioned, start small. There'll be assistance provided to guide you. There'll be expertise to guide you. You need to take ownership of your own business. Work with a cloud service provider. They have the platform, they have the marketplace. They will allow you to partner with like-minded cloud-native companies to go to market together. It's called hunting in a pack, right? So you can scale your business very quickly. So with that, I end.
Thank you, Evelyn. That's a good way to wrap up this panel. 3 takeaways. Utilize government schemes and incentives. Invest in training and upskilling your people. Trust in the secure cloud and go cloud native. And on that note, thank you panelists and thank you viewers and listeners. We hope to hear from you on which other topic or topics you'd like SGTech to focus on for future webinars. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the rest of the other Q&As, I think we will address them as we go along, okay?
Yes, so that was one point which I wanted to bring out, and I thought SGTech will bring it after this, that there were many questions which were very specific to specific panelists, and SGTech will collate all that and get back to you individually or collectively. Thank you once again for participating, listeners and viewers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Raju, and our panelists. Wow, that was really a very enriching discussion. Right? I really love the recurring concepts of like changing your business mindset and also the need to consider things like security as you move towards cloud native. I think that's very important, especially as we embrace digitalization in today's age, right? And also the need for talents, right? So not to worry if these are things that this is too much for you to absorb. Feel free to reach out to SGTech. We actually support our companies, right? Tech and also tech and core, right, in these various areas, right? So feel free to reach out to us. And I'd like to just ask everyone to take a few seconds to do a very quick feedback survey for us here. Right, this would help us shape our future webinars, right? Okay, so I'll leave this on for a bit. And for those of you who still have questions, feel free to hang around and post them under the Q&A. Our speakers and panelists will be around to address them.